Oh, good morning. Um, sure, I might be. Whatever, whatever. Oh, lovely, right? Lovely. Ow! We're about to. We don't want There we go. I don't like anything that feels like it's whatchamacallit, like blaring in my friggin' eyes, right? All right, so today the time is a bit off. Uh, I knew, I think it was another week before we had daylight savings time. Okay, I thought it was like at least the second weekend. Oh, in the there's a fly. Hold on, guys. The thing I don't do. Sorry, I don't do I spies. Okay, and it was all right. I spy. You know what I'm saying. So okay. Um, we had to fall back. We had to fall back. And you should have I was looking at my phone the whole time for the timing, and I was like, "Oh, it's this I got up so what is it?" And then I go in the kitchen and my stove says something else. And I was like, "Really? I thought that was next weekend." But it's not. It's now. It's now, guys. It is now. Okay. Let's do this. Why do I look scary? I look scary. Hold on one second. You're just gonna have to deal. Like if you're really meant to watch this thing, you're gonna have to deal with the way things are looking because when I tell you that light is seriously making me look sickly. I fucking hate YouTube. I fucking hate YouTube because when I do the pre-recordeds, I know you look at it and you go, "Oh, she looks like she's alive." And then when I get on for the live, it's like Crypt Keeper bullshit. Like what in the fuck? Anyways, so I'm gonna lose my shit. Because I look like death. Like, are you fucking kidding me? I look like death herself. Anyways, I am so pasty. I'm not pasty. I'm translucent in certain areas. I'm not pasty. And I'd be going in the bathroom. I'm like, I'm fine. But it's this shit. Like, I will look like this happened to me. Look, if I go on a tangent, there's a reason. This happened to me in 2019. I was traveling overseas and I had to get my passport, right? And like get the picture and all that kind of stuff. And I went somewhere and got a picture where they're passport approved, whatever. Okay. And the picture was great. It looked like me. I get to the place where they issue it, which was the local county government, where you could take it and finally submit it and stuff like that. I should have gone to the post office. I didn't know you could do that then. Um, and they go, this isn't the right dimension, something. I don't know what the hell was wrong with it, but it wasn't right. And I was like, bullshit. And I was like, fine, just take it. So I paid for another passport photo. And what I saw on their little electronic device looked like me. But when I got my fucking passport, why did it look like I had two, like a raccoon? Two, you know what? I feel like I want to show y'all. It's the most embarrassing shit. And I was like, there's no way once they put it on the passport, they're like, surely whoever was doing it was like, the picture, the passport, the picture, the passport." What the fuck? It didn't look like it looked like I had you know alfalfa, the little rascals, and they would like paint like the dog spot. That's what it looked like. When I tell you, even in the digital format, it did not look like that. My passport photo does not look like me. Also, I had from the time I took it, and I went to the place to get it all and send it off, it rained, and I was like, I looked like just get this the fuck over with, and now I'm still stuck with this photo. My driver's license looks way better. and it looks like I feel like I really wanna show you guys. I really wanna show you guys, like, it looks horrendous. It doesn't even look like me. Anyways, that's how I feel when I get on here. Because 'cause I'll be like, "I'm full of life, look at me," and then I get on here, and this shit says, "You are you are the walking dead." Like, you know? And I like getting on here before I get ready for the day. I don't know what it like, I could get up at 5 o'clock in the morning and, like, do all the things, but it's not feasible when I take my kids to school, come back, sit you know what I mean? Like, because there's so many things that happen in the day, guys, so many things that happen in the day that it's like the ADHD takes over and it's like, "Squirrel," and I'm like, "I'm suddenly not in the mood." That happens. Um, and so there's just something about sitting down in the morning, doing my thing before I do anything else in the day. Like I really like it. There's something I used to always, which I do. I do look like a human. I get ready. I take a shower. I do all kinds of stuff. But I have gotten so used over the last 4 years of just being like first thing in the morning, raw, real. Like yeah. And I'm not even trying to prove anything. I'm not trying to be like just be who you are. No, I'm the same way. Like I do stuff to make me look human. I'm just not used to this. I don't know what the fuck's going on here. I don't know. I don't and it's just here recently. Like in the last 3 to 4 months. I'm like because the sunlight used to come in and it used to be like the thing that made it look really great. And all of a sudden I look dead and I don't know how to fix it, guys. So I think YouTube's doing it on purpose. I think YouTube has it out for me. Call me crazy. I don't care. Somebody may need to like, this is a rant without it being a rant, you're just like, "Sure, what else? Let's do this. Come on, life." You like I get like you've already fucked me up the ass while running. Let's like, I'm game. Go ahead. Let's do this thing. Like it just feels that way sometimes. And you're just like, meh. Like those people that go to Walmart and you're like, how did you even because they've hit that spot and moved beyond. Like when I tell you, they're just like, whatever. At this point, are we really? Might as well have fun with it. Sure, why not? That's what it feels like. Sure, why not? There we go. That's your title of your reading. Sure, why not? I mean, you know, par for the course is what it feels like. Sure. Just, I can't even rant properly anymore because it's like, I'm just like, what the fuck? But I can't get mad properly anymore. You ever had like that's on another level of healing. That's King of Cups kind of energy where my emotions don't rule me. I'm over I wield that shit. Like I can experience it without having some great dramatic I'm like, okay, and let's move on. Like really being able to maintain peace when your ego, you can hear your ego in your head like, "Are we fucking kidding?" Kind of thing. And you don't disagree, right? You don't disagree, but it's a whole nother space when you're just like, "Yup," and you don't crash out anymore. I don't know what that training is about, why spirit feels like I needed that training, and what the fuck do you have planned later in my life where I need that? Did it prepare me for the world looking the way it is? Because I'm still very adamant. I'm still a major advocate. I still have shit to say. But I guess it doesn't impact me internally like it used to. Like emotions no longer I used to be where my emotions I could feel that they were physically damaging me because it was so great and I just couldn't get it out or express it. Like they were self-regenerating. Like sometimes the anger was so much that I could feel myself deteriorating internally, like just imploding inside. Um, that's a positive. That doesn't happen anymore. I don't feel like I am. I am losing or demolishing who I am internally because emotions can do that. And they take a toll. And then you see it on your body, in your physical health, all kinds of stuff. You're like, how did I get here? And it's that. It was, and a lot of people experience it not when they're in the moment of needing or like having major shit happen. It's after the fact. It's like some of us perform so well and do so well in chaos. It's afterwards when our nervous system actually has safety that it spazzes the fuck out and then you release all that shit. So it's kind of like I was going through hell and looked really great. And then afterwards, I look like death. This is for somebody. Somebody can share in the misery of this, of the experience. I'm sorry, of the experience. Um, that this is really like somebody may be on the other side of that. Like I get the sense like there is lesson learned. You no longer crash out. It no longer overwhelms you. It no longer takes over. You already know what it can do to your health. You're now dealing with the ramifications of what some like retaining that stuff. So somebody's mastered the ability to move through an emotion. So like you're not stuffing it down and shoving it into your cells. You're moving through it. You're acknowledging it, but it doesn't remain in the pressure cooker where it's constantly bubbling because you just let it go, which is great. But again, it's like, why maybe it may well, you know what it is, it's because you should have always learned how to do that. I always tell people healing is learning how to live, because what it takes and requires to heal is what you should have been doing all along, so that it didn't create such massive, deep, unending wounds and trauma within you. We just were never taught that, which is why some people say, you're always healing. And I'm like, you're not. Never claim any kind of perpetual wound. If there's everything that I would ever like absolutely always tell somebody, never claim a perpetual wound. Okay? Because the idea of always healing means that you always have a wound. Don't fucking do it. You're just living. Okay? And healing looks a lot like fucking living the right way. Living, much like healing, is a process. There is no end because healing is living. Does that make sense? So just say, I'm living. I'm embodying. Anyways, I'm quite certain that we'll somehow fucking play into this shit. The art of life. I mean, are you motherfucking kidding me? The art of life. The art of life. Yeah. That is the art of life, isn't it? There's no sacred light in the aura of an invisible life. Be bold in your skin and let your love dance in sight. It's time to live. This is what I was getting beforehand. And now I got to get my freaking phone so I can read the song. I swear I just pushed go, like green light, and then that didn't really. And for anybody who's wondering, I do actually have real clothes. Once in a while, I'll show up in my real clothes on here, but there's so many times I do not. Okay. So the song is Gold. Hold on. Hold on. For the love of God. Why do they always okay, activity. It is under activity. I need to redo my settings on here because let's see here. There it is. It's called Gold by Andrea Triana. Andrea. I like Andrea better. We're just gonna call her Andrea Triana. So I'm gonna have to go and Andrea Triana Gold because this was playing over and over and over again. Like when you hear something in your head and then which was this morning when I woke up. But anyways, and then you hear it on the playlist. You're like, oh, okay. Andrea Triana Gold lyrics. Okay, hold on. What are we doing? My music helps me tremendously to get through stuff and get messages from my gut. Yeah, right. Especially when you're kind of like, I don't know. Sometimes I get you like, you're like, you know what? I'm just gonna human today. Don't talk to me. And they're like, I don't think so. And so the good thing is that whoever meets you will say you look so much better in person, right? If they decide they want to meet me, well, I'm assuming they're gonna meet me. I don't ever get out, and I don't want anybody where I live, so I'm gonna have to travel to find my person. I'm just telling you. They are not where I live. I promise. I know for a fact. I know for a fact. Ah. Anyways, let's see here. Yes, under pressure, we do very well until we crack. Oh my God. All right. So here's a song. Okay. Before we've already gotten started. Here's a song. You need to go listen to it because it's good. And she's really awesome. She's amazing. Oh, darling, no. This heart is free. A brand new day is at my feet, and I'm singing low, low and sweet, giving more soul. Give it all to me. It all feels like gold, gold to me. Oh, I love this. Blah, blah. This is, I feel like this is a group that includes the last reading that I did. This group is larger than the last reading, where it was like the person was like, you know what? If a particular person doesn't decide what they want, I'm living. I'm ready for my adventure. Like there's really nothing like I feel myself slipping closer and closer to that adventure. And either they're gonna come along or they're not, but I'm going. Um, because life is meant for me. Like it feels that way, but and I feel like there's so many entering this. Um the I've tolerated so much from life and society, hence my rant, that I'm like, no more, no more. And it's like in spite of the dynamic that's happening. It's like it's not an either or fallacy, guys. It's not either I love life or I fight the good fight. You can do both. And sometimes living the life and taking the reins back, stepping out of the box and claiming your power is how you fight the good fight. It is a major aspect and part of that, correct? Correct. The loving the self, because the fight that's happening in the world today is amongst, you can call it the haves and the have-nots, the ones who want power, the ones who want control, the ones who like the box, right? And so the more you challenge that, the more that you love yourself, because the only way to control somebody is if you, and the only real way is to take power from somebody is if their love of self wavers in any way, right? So, of course, creating dynamics where, you know, rage and things like that feel necessary. That's But the ultimate is to love the self so much that you choose not to engage in that. Not engaging in it also does not mean that you don't fight the good fight, though. And I feel like people are like, no, like they just really misconstrue that. It's like I don't get baited in to where I feel like I'm losing ground in myself, in my being. But I also, because when I love myself, my boundaries are thick, let me tell you, and my ability to respond is on point and precise. I will fight the good fight. You just won't take me out of my power. Okay? Okay. So let's keep reading the song. It was last in silence. It's all good to me. Or sorry, it will last in silence. It's all good to me, singing simple things that light me up. What a beautiful world. And I see the love in everything and everyone. When I'm digging softly, oh, the tide will come. It all feels like gold to me. Might not be diamonds, but it shines for me. It all feels like gold, gold to me. I see there's so much beauty. There is so much more than I ever believed. high touching the sky where the angels keep falling. It's all good to me. It's all gold to me. Might not be diamonds, but it shines for me. It will last in silence. It's all good to me. So it's a really great song. I want you to go. I also skip several things that songs they repeat lyrics and shit like that. But this was the gist of it, where it's like, oh darling, this heart is free. Again, when you feel chained up by circumstances, situations, and you buy into something, you pour your power into something, you see and view something as being more powerful than you. Now that does not mean, and I'm not here to play the love and light bullshit, okay? You can feel free within yourself and understand the limitations of that are placed upon you by external circumstances and external factors. But the idea of, if your emotions get lost in that to the point where it consumes you, because that's going to be your ultimate death toll, isn't what people or things, situations, systems do to you. It is the only one that can pull the plug on your life force is you. And I promise you, I 100% know, of my 45 years, I've had way too many circumstances and situations where I know that things can be coordinated and orchestrated in such a manner that you utterly lose yourself in that situation. But because here's the thing, this is how I know you at some point had to hand your power over in that situation, or at least relinquish, because you felt like you were drowning. Because same again, healing is living. So what it required for you to retain that is the same thing that's required for you to reclaim that. Okay? So the healing process, healing in and of itself, again, is living. It's you learning to live. It's what you should be doing day in and day out. It's the exact same process. And healing is strictly a you thing. No one, I don't care what happened. I don't care what circumstances occurred around you. I don't care what healing is all you. No one, fucking no one can do it for you. No one. And that's the reason why, even though we get very triggered when we hear this, it's like, and nobody can hand your power over but you. Now, yes, we can create circumstances and situations and do things to people to beat them until they into submission. But we know, we've seen, we have witnessed individuals hold on to that last little thread. Low hanging fruit would be Nelson Mandela. Okay. And no one blames anybody when they start to drown, when they relinquish. It can become overwhelming and so much. But this is where we have to take accountability and understand. And it's not a dig at anybody. It's fucking not. It's not a dig. We're all having a human experience. The only way that somebody else can have power over you is when you hand your power over. This happens micro, meso, macro, and meta at every level: personal, communal, community wise, meta, large group scale, national, or I mean macro, that's macro. Meta is like worldwide, right? Um Friendly reminder, and I think this bears remembering, okay? In the Great Depression, it wasn't the poor, the needy that were killing themselves off. The individuals that were dying in droves were the wealthy, the powerful, because the power, you know, either through reclaiming it or choosing not to participate in. Kind of like your emotions when they become so much, like I was describing, like if I am in a position where where I was a participant in the emotion, like the simmer pot, the pressure cooker where everything just kept boiling and pressure kept building. Um, Everything has duality. You can have submission where you hand your power over, and there can be a level of submission where you retain your power. Um, if I'm going to use like a modern day, people are talking about if we just stopped participating in the system because we are the ones that are fueling it and feeding it, correct? Um, then those that have power just wouldn't, they siphon power from those they attempt to oppress. There will be bumps and bruises along the way when you fight the good fight, but you can also feel like this, like everything is gold during it as well. Not everybody, like here's the thing, and there's times where it's like it's look, some days I'm open to receive that message and I know it. Other days, shut the fuck up because I really don't give a shit. And if you're in that energy, if you're in that space, valid, valid. You don't have to stick around. I'm not here to, you know what I mean? But this is for those who are ready to receive that. They're ready to hear this. Stop participating in whatever system has you in that incessant loop. And sometimes that can look like drowning first and then resurrecting, right? The phoenix. But you you pull back that power and that system will crumble and it will fall and it will fail. And this is at any level, okay? So, despite what's happening, despite what's going on in the world or personally in your life, you can just decide. And there's something in the deciding where the fear no longer influences. Okay. So, the art of life, there's no sacred light in the aura of an invisible life. Shrinking back, holding back, not putting into practice what you've learned. Like on this channel, we tell everybody like healing does not make you suddenly impervious to bad shit happening, right? But what healing does do is tell you exactly how you should respond and what to do in order to move through that. And the one thing that I got taught, and here's the thing, I've always known this, but at the time when I didn't fucking want to hear it, but needed to hear it, I got told this. It can take as long or as little as you fucking want it to. And when I said, I really, but I'm going to tell you, it's not pleasant and it's not pretty. I have moved through things in my life in a matter of months to a year that I've witnessed and watched other people go 20 years trying to figure out and get through and they can't. And this is all the internal work. It's moving beyond the programming. It's moving beyond the traumas. It's moving beyond. And was it pretty? No. Some people would like to call it, I think that this term gets used in a broad sweep. I think spiritual psychosis should be reserved for those times when people are like, I am God. Um, Everybody should follow me, that kind of stuff. I have all the, some weird shit where they're just really lost in the sauce. But there's also times where when you decide to wake up, that you're like, everything is crumbling, everything is coming down. I don't understand what's up, what's down, what's left, what's right. Everything is every emotion, every thought, I feel like I'm going crazy. That's not really spiritual psychosis. You know what that is? That's a rapid healing response that's happening. It is okay to slow down if necessary. It probably should be done in layers like an onion. Because if you try to do everything all at once in one moment, you will feel like you're imploding. And sometimes when I work with somebody, I get to the heart of why they're feeling like that, and a lot, not always, a lot. It's because they finally just let go, and they're it's as if everything all at once is released from their body. Again, the same scenario. I can move through chaos and I'm perfectly fine. I hit that safe spot. And because I do, my nervous system is allowed to unfurl. And when it does, it releases everything all at once. Um, I don't know who needed to hear that, but that can be what I'm picking up on is on the other side of that. So if you feel like that's kind of what you've moved through, because you're like, I don't know what those last 3 years were. They were a clusterfuck. I couldn't put my finger on it. I don't know why I felt this. I don't know why I reacted like that. I don't know why you could feel the good, the bad, I mean, everything all at once. And it was the emotions, the mental, the spiritual that you were like, that's what made you feel like you were going crazy. You weren't like, oh my God, I am the one to say, I am the Messiah. You weren't like that. Okay. But you were just like, and you just could like it's the roller coaster. Once you start going, you can't stop. Like you almost didn't know what you were getting yourself into, but you're on the other side of it now, and you look back like, so when things are happening, it's you are in a different space. You can notice how you react differently internally. Doesn't mean shit has necessarily gotten exponentially better external to you, but you have a different perspective. You feel through it differently. You react to it differently. You're utterly aware of your role in the midst of everything. You're aware of what you're taking on, which you couldn't do as a child. Okay. When you were programmed differently, you can just do things differently now. And it's like you're at a place, at a point where you're like, I'm going to choose this because I'll be damned if I go anymore in life without feeling, without love, without happiness, without joy. You're simultaneously a participant in the evolution of this world and the reclamation of your life. It's not either or, okay? And you feel perfectly centered about it. It's a beautiful place when it's exceptionally hard to derail somebody. When you are hard to derail because you own your shit. So the art of life, you're applying. You also know and have learned the lesson that withholding also creates chaos. Not participating, not loving, shutting down, disassociating, going stagnant is as painful as anything you could face. Only with stagnancy, you call it peace, but it's just a lack of joy. It lacks joy also. So if I'm going to have to go through this energy one way or the other, whether I withhold or I participate, guess the fuck what? I'm going to choose the one that has joy, adventure, all the good shit that makes it worth it. So this is when you know that you're ready to exit the liminal space. Okay? And that's where you're at. Then we have draw down the light, draw down the moon. The forest nymphs, which I love nymphs, by the way. The forest nymphs, they're like little sprites. I don't know why I'm going on tangent. Little sprites, little fairies, little whatevers you want to call them. Persephone, probably the most famous of nymphs. The forest nymphs dance in sheer delight, singing soft songs. Find us in the wild. Good night. Find us in the wild. And that's what you're telling everybody without telling anybody, is what I just heard. You want me? You can find me in the wild. Good night. And we had that reading before about the sunset, and I think it was like some oh, that was one of the ones that didn't have sound, y'all. When I tell you that was some good shit, pissed me off. So you're just like, "You know what? You can find me in the wild. I'm going to live. I'm going to you and I there again, something in the healing, you learned the art of life. I cannot stand the fact that the art of life. You've learned it. You've learned it. Where are we going? In my case, I never learned or was allowed growing up how to be fully in myself and do what I wanted, right? I had to be there for my family and yep. It's pretty difficult to emotionally distance yourself and get that security, right? Yeah, the thickest part, you don't know. You think you're going insane though. A moment's joy. Okay. Sand through the hourglass, yet time could stand still. A moment lasts forever in the bliss of the heart's will. This is the idea that choosing something for the pure sake of the bliss of the heart can change your life forever. Can color the remainder time you have this human experience. It's always in the innocuous little moments where the greatest adventures and the biggest changes happen. Okay. So, in this sense of I'm choosing me and I'm going to live, you can find me in the wild where you follow instinct, intuition, you honor your primal um, energies. You just, in the moment, all the while aware of everything else, also at the same time. You don't give up one for the other. You've learned it's much better to live the life than to fear it. Um, in that, somebody's going to choose something that's going to change everything, meaning that choice that seems very in the moment, on the spur, off the cut, like you're just like, I had no clue that one little thing would color the rest of my life. So, right? And that's the other thing too, because I went through the same thing. Like when I tell you, I got to the point where spirit kept jobs from me. Mind you, I have a master's degree. You know what I mean? Like I have a fucking master's degree. How hard is it? And this is before the last 2 years where they were like, oh, it's suddenly getting, because they got, the society got to where they didn't want to pay people for large degrees and things like that. And so they were like, uh, when I tell you it was like $13, I was like, I have over $100,000 in debt, student loan debt. Coming from an era where it was like, we only like you're only gonna do well because that was beat into our fucking heads if you had a degree. Um, and mine was like in an area that I was very passionate about. And so before we started seeing these massive changes, I was already experiencing it. And I got to the point where I was like, I don't even want to do anything in my field. I want to do something else. Couldn't find any of those jobs. Why? Because I had a master's degree. They didn't want me because I had been out of work for 3 years taking care of my dying father. Because there's a lot of things. Then it was I was literally alone. Like I sent my mom to live with my sister because I was like, I'm not taking care of family anymore. Um, so then I didn't have a support network. Then life gets to a certain point and you're like, now I can't do X, Y, and Z because I'm I'm single parenting like massively, right? Um, and then, the few friends I did have all moved away because smart, but I am landlocked a little bit because of the children that I have. And then you sit, and when everything, including money, was so scarce, sparse, and minimal, like everything was stripped. Because here's the thing, I was really great at charging forward. I was in my masculine so hard a lot of the times that I was like, even in the beginning when I first moved here, every day I was scrubbing, cleaning. Like, your house can't be that fucking dirty. What the, like, it was looking good. Like, I filled my time. And they were like, rest. And I was like, I am. I literally don't do anything. Like, what are you talking about? And they're like, rest. I'm like, I fucking, I get out in nature. I do. Like, I'm like, what more do you want from me? Like, I'm getting really mad at this point. And it's like, I'm fighting it. I'm resisting it because what they wanted was me to release. They wanted me to release. And so it got to the point where there was a point in time where money was so little that I was like, I don't have gas to go outside to drive, because I'm in a certain area, like you have to drive 10 minutes. And like I started really, and they were like, you're going to break one way or the other. And I thought I was doing everything to break. But because I always had something else I could focus on or something that I could look forward to, or I could I wouldn't give the other stuff the due diligence. I wouldn't let my nervous system fully relax. And so I broke. They broke me on purpose. And at the same time as that, because if you look back at my old videos, I have gained 35 pounds. Now, that might not seem like a lot to some people, but when you're 5 foot something, like 5'1", 5'2", um, double it. It's like gaining six, you know what I mean? Because it was mostly inflammation, and it was like my system started going, my autoimmune diseases started because everything flooded my system. Everything had flooded my system. And I've been in a great place probably the last year and a half, but it has been now kind of like mopping up the mess that it left behind. Um, so when she says everything was taken, and it's only then that I could really, like, when we're saying everything is taken, sometimes they mean every everything. And so like you can be like, what more could you take? I already don't have anybody. Don't tempt the fucking universe. I'm telling you right now because they will show you. Right down to feeling like your sanity is being taken. And there were peaks in my caretaker role where I thought it would just be better not to exist because of the way it made my brain feel. When I tell you I had, and they'll tell you most caretakers actually don't come out of caretaking alive. They tend to die before the person needs the caretaking when they do it all themselves because of what it does to them. People come out with brain damage. Okay. Um And so to move beyond that and to feel that same level of, but it was because I had to contain it to keep moving forward and doing the things that I was doing. I had to contain it because I was the only able-bodied person. I had two disabled parents and three fucking children. And I thought I was doing like the right thing by stepping up for my parents. And on the other side, I I never look down on somebody who decides that they're not going to care for somebody because you're essentially giving up who you are, your dreams, your life, your joy. And I'm talking about real, real, real caretaking. Um, where everything you do is having to think for somebody else, and everything you do is created and curated around someone else. You no longer exist in those scenarios. So think about it like this. So, and this may not be what everybody else experienced, but I'm sure that when I say things like You could feel that your brain was damaged. You could feel damage in your body. We've all been through scenarios and the outcome is the same. The experience is the same. What contributed to it might be different, but we all know what the fuck we're saying here. Okay. We've all felt it. We've all experienced it. Um, so to go through all of that and come out the other side, witnessing that you've lost everything that made you you. And when they say slate is clean, they fucking mean it. I even had it where like I hadn't bought clothes for 5 years. I hadn't like I was like, I have nothing. I have nothing. I had absolutely nothing with the exception of and honestly, there for a period because I had like my mom helped because she knew the damage that occurred from sacrificing that much. But I didn't have anything. But I can say on the other side of that, I also don't have the things deep within my cells, my DNA, my mitochondria. It's all gone too. My ego might remember things and try to prepare me, but my body is not who is not the same person. Um, and that's what I feel like. I feel like this is a rebuilding period. It's been a rebuilding period, even if it hasn't looked very glorious. Um, but whoever this person is, people, you actually feel capable of choosing joy right now because there was a time frame when you didn't even know how to do that, and that you'd tell yourself you wanted to, but there was nothing within your body that could do it, that could relate to it, that could feel it, that could pretend, that could try, that, like you're no, there wasn't anything your ego could put before you to entice that type of a response, that type of a, it was like nothing worked. So to be in the place where you can actually consciously choose that and follow through with it, that's as much a part of the battle that we have going on in this world today as anything else. Um, to be seen, to have other people be able to see you and like really see you, and to be able to help you understand what that healing process looks like because a lot of us didn't. And even if we did have somebody at some point, they all end up flaking or bailing or something to that effect, right? Like because they can't handle it or they're going through own shit. And so it's one of those things where it's like to have a group of individuals now who are the embodiment of how to move through this. It matters for the greater collective, for the people that you meet, and who to show how you can do both. Okay. So I do want to, there's a whole lot of talking here about that. And I'm sure that there's a reason we had to go into that a little bit, but I do feel like there is something attached to this choosing of life, choosing the adventure and seeing everything as gold. It may not be a diamond, but it's gold. Okay. Because that was a fucking lot. That was 50 minutes of that and probably hardly nothing of this. I don't know. I feel something behind my right eye. I'm like, I don't know what it is. That might be for somebody. I don't know. Right? I would talk to spirit, to the sea, to the stars. And then sometimes I would be like, come down here, I'll fucking fight you. I don't know if I trust. See, this is where I love and light motherfuckers really get me. I am not one who believes. I know for a fact that spirit isn't all good. This idea that you cross over and things suddenly no the fucking don't. There's as much choice over in any other dimensional reality as there is, maybe a little bit more. Things might be a bit easier, but if you think that sheer evil doesn't exist in all forms, in all corners of existence, you are not my people. Because yes, the fuck it does. And you can argue, but it's a choice. You damn right. You damn right. It's a choice. Those energies and entities and things, they choose it. Okay. So I would never talk to my spirit team. Like, why the fuck not? Like, what? I don't abide by the. To me, that's very Christian. This notion of that I don't know this or monotheism like this sense of to me this level of worship the way that they describe it the way that they it's I don't know to me it's so fucking toxic, very narcissistic. um and by all means do I believe that there are energies and entities on the other in other existences that are that absolutely. But if I'm sorry, but if my spirit team can't handle me being human in this form, why the fuck are they even on my spiritual team? If they can't handle me moving through a process and calling them on their shit and their lack of empathy and you know what I mean? Like if you can't do that, you're you're too much of a weak ass bitch to be on my team. Get gone. That's the way I view it. Weak ass motherfucker. Get going. And this is also why some people are like, be very careful, whatever ancestors you bring on, whatever entities or energies you align with. Because I'm telling you right now, you see, people act like they would always do everything for me and they'll always, no, the fuck they won't. They don't serve you. The fuck? I don't understand people. Anyways, I just went on a tangent that had nothing to do with nothing, but that's for somebody. Well, if there ever was a moment in your life, um, or a card that aligned with you choosing love, joy, adventure, and life in and of itself, it would be the Empress card, right? Choosing life. You are ripe and ready, I heard. Ripe and ready. This is just going to be a long reading today. Thank God it's alive. Because to upload this, the devil. Two of Swords. Yeah, that's the choice, isn't it? The idea of choosing life and loving it or being bound and repeating patterns. Like I just feel like somebody I'm not going back. Because the idea of if we reference that other reading where it was like someone was like if this person doesn't come in I'm still going. I'm leaving. I'm going in this direction. Because that would be holding yourself back, which I think is what someone had to work through in their life. We're just gonna make you stay right here while I fish out the fucking cards that went all the way under the desk. Here we go, y'all. Son of a biscuit. I'm getting old. Mm-mm. I promise I was not willing this motherfucker out. I swear to God. We have the Queen of Pentacles with the Seven of Swords. People automatically assume Seven of Swords means some level of deceit, illusion, things like that. Okay. Um Generally, if it's that, it's of the self. Like lying to yourself about something. The Seven of Swords is a story of somebody going into the army's camp. The army is prepared for something, it knows something's on its way. The individual goes in, takes what is necessary to prepare themselves to maintain their sense of sovereignty and their safety and their security, which was obtained through the Six of Swords. You know, the things that you had to do to move from the rough, choppy waters to the calm waters. And so now the Seven of Swords is talking about doing whatever I've got to do, positioning myself mentally and through a particular lens to ensure that I maintain that, which hits very on the nail with what we just talked about. Somebody who had to move through all of that. And if you think that, because I know and acknowledge that stagnation, the waiting, can equally be as much problematic as being too impulsive and moving forward, right? Like it's the idea that in the withholding, there's just as much pain as the art of life can throw at you, only without the joy. So, in either scenario, I'm not saving myself from pain, disappointment. I mean, I'm not saying your life's going to be riddled with it. I'm just saying there's no guarantee of that. But the one thing you can fucking guarantee, right, is if I stay fucking put like the devil and remain in the holding pattern, I most certainly will be without joy. So, do I have a choice in the Two of Swords? I absolutely do. Am I going to choose to be the Empress? Yes, the fuck I am. So, somebody is a Queen of Pentacles, meaning that they've worked through everything. The Queen of Pentacles has mastered. We already talked about the last mastery, which was the one that I think you went through, which you probably mastered everything in that period. But the one that's probably the most self evident at this moment was whether or not your emotions controlled you or you wielded your emotions, like how to handle and deal with those things as they arose. Queen of Pentacles, she's moved through, worked through, and has at her disposal the ability of all the elements, which is what makes her well rooted, makes her the person that can do it all. She has it all within her. She has the full capacity as the Queen of Pentacles, what she needs to do. So you have the Queen of Pentacles exercising her Seven of Swords. Positive mental positioning. All about her paradigm, all about her lens, preparing herself mentally, intellectually, and acknowledging the truth of what she's got to do to maintain what she achieved in the Six of fucking Swords. She's in this energy. And who the fuck do you think pops out with this, but none other than the goddamn Emperor? Of course, this motherfucker would show the fuck up. Hence why in the last reading, it was like, there's a time limit because I'm choosing me. I'm not staying here. And life will somehow look vastly different with the emperor than without him. But by no fucking means, let me tell you, will it be shitty because this feminine is choosing joy. She is choosing to live the art of life. She is choosing to let her inner wild out. Find me in the wild. Fucking gnat. Oh, I'm so ready for them to be gone. Um, anyways, so this is what she is well aware. And this again, I don't want to make this only about somebody waiting for somebody because a lot of us have come to this place. Um, and we're just gonna pretend like the emperor, it can be a person, it can be any number of scenarios. But the Queen of Pentacles is like, I've been here before. I know this game. I know what I need to do. And there is nothing wrong, deceitful about me doing what I know I need to do for me, my future. Okay? Yeah. There is a choice. We have the lovers. And in this one, I want to say it's not like to love or not to love. Because either way, this bitch is loving herself. She is choosing love. Whether it takes the form, some people only want to see love as that which you can give another. And I think like whoever is resonating with this, you've moved far beyond that. That was old programming. That's the shit you had to work through. Ultimate love is love of self. And you've had to discover what that really fucking meant. It's, can it be again, can it be a massage? Sure. Love of self. When you really truly work through it, that's a bugger, let me tell you. She will not ever choose an external love, a love to give to another over herself unless it was a child. She would not. Not never again. And I almost might challenge that, where I think that whoever this is has worked through it so much. Again, it's not an either or fallacy. She's learned how to, that's why she's the Queen of Pentacles. She's learned how to do both. She has. So this question of it's not a choice then, right? In that respect, it's not a choice. I'm not choosing between me or you. I'm choosing love. Of course I am. The adventure, the passion, the fire in the belly, the Ace of Wands, desires. She has a torch to bear. It's the light that she doesn't want to extinguished ever again. Six of Cups. Again, rose tinted glasses, a return to joy, a return to self, I heard. There is a love, there is an acknowledgement that between the Six of Cups and the Lovers, that there is the opportunity for a very deep soul connection, even like beyond this life type of soul connection, multiple lives. Um, and there is a heavy desire for that. But with the moon, I feel like saying, I don't know, something about that might have been able to sway her before. I'm talking about the Empress, but it doesn't now. Because the moon is really talking about the subconscious, at least here. And even feel like maybe we're talking about a spirit, like this can also reference the spiritual connection, like the maybe telepathic or um, like I sense somebody spiritually gifted, like intuition and that etheric knowing, that etheric connection. You can acknowledge it. So there's an acknowledgement here of this. Past life connections, soul family. Um, but and some level of a spiritual, intuitive, etheric connection and understanding. Like I want to say the Empress acknowledges that and can see that. It's not as hidden as one would think. But the Seven of Swords will prevail. Because this is the alternative. Ten of Wands and Hermit. The Hermit mode is probably the most oppressive. It's like simultaneously the abandonment of self while also discovering the self. We have the Hermit with the Ten of Wands. Ten of Wands is like, I didn't move through this for nothing. And one could argue, I'm just going to say, one could argue, then why would you give up on this? Because this is almost like the same, but it's like because she will never give up on herself or forsake herself. Let's put it that way for any other again. And there's a level of self abandonment because at this point, this is where she's at. She's still hermit mode, Ten of Wands. Ten of Wands can talk about, oh, the promise of somebody coming in to help. You shouldn't have to do it all on your own. You're right. But right now, as it stands, because this person either won't get their shit together or, they've got too much going on, I'm still fucking doing it on my own. I'm going to exit hermit mode. I'm going to join the living again. I'm going to create community and go back out into the world. Hermit mode is over. This is just an exceptionally intelligent, spiritually well developed choice, like understanding. You know that you can deliver yourself from the shackles of the devil, from these current circumstances, because healing taught you that. Nobody else can do it for you. This notion of the white knight showing up on his fucking horse, while it's great, and this waiting for it to happen, I'm sorry, you've come too far. You've been through too much. You know too much. It's not that you can't give grace to somebody, and you are, but it's not at the sake of myself. Because in this situation, it isn't you giving up on it, it's the other person. Why do you carry that burden? Why do you carry that responsibility? Why would it solely be on your shoulders? It's not. It's not. Because in a previous reading, we understood that there was people, a situation, specifically a person, that they too knew. They fucking knew. And they're making a conscious decision, right? To not move forward. So you get to make the conscious decision to move forward. Fuck. Are we serious? Yep. This was the ultimate choice, choice between two paths. inevitably, you know that ending up and sharing your life path with somebody who is obviously you feel like you've lived lifetimes with, you feel like you have a deep soul level connection with, maybe contract, whatever you want, soul family, that you have great passion for, deep, deep, unknown, like at a spiritual level. Sure, you know that's going to be different. Again, though, it's always this looming in the back. For how long and at what cost? When it begins to become a point where you're forsaking the self for this, it's no longer healthy. And you are beginning to backtrack and backslide. And that's the point that you're at. You understand it's a choice between two paths. You get that. You get it. And I would say that you're even still willing to move forward. We have the Eight of Pentacles, which is willing to put the work in, but also moving forward. It has a very dedicated and loyal energy to it. Focus, follow through, willingness, determination, right? You absolutely would. You would put in the work. Four of Wands for this union, for this connection, for this coming together. You're ready. You have the Ace of Cups. Again, you know all of this. You are ready. Okay. Why? Oh, like why do we gotta like keep? Jesus, Spirit, are you trying to? Yeah. Nine of Swords with the Knight of Pentacles. Now, um, I am not a proponent that Knight of Pentacles necessarily means slow. Knight of Pentacles means integral, where words, actions, and energy all match. Now, if it requires moving slowly, and it does at times, to attain that, right? So that people are showing up completely authentically themselves, transparent, honest, forthright, you know what I'm saying? Like, then absolutely it can take time. And maybe in this scenario it is. But again, the fear is not of this connection. The fear, if anything, is around how long it's taking. I say this all the time. Faith is all great and dandy until you've had to hold that bitch for an exponentially long time. You could put a feather in your hand and hold it out like this, and at some point, it is going to become too heavy for you. Your arm will begin to, and you wait too long, and things will sour. You will sour. Okay. So this is the place. I feel like whoever this is needed to either the other person or you really needed to understand why there's a time limit, or you needed that reassurance that you're seen by spirit and they understand why. It's not out of ultimatums and demanding something. And again, this is even for proverbial people that you may not be with, but you know you have felt like something was coming in. This is like giving you the green light and saying you're right. You don't have to wait for that. And if it misses you, it misses you. You have the Seven of Wands because you choose yourself. Period, point blank. Choose yourself. You have to choose yourself. The Star. it's a being guided kind of energy. It's be careful what you wish for, correct? It's like we can wish for a perfect scenario. We can wish for something assuming that a perfect scenario will come out. That if we get it, it's going to be perfectly at, and it's kind of like rarely seldom does that ever actually happen. We don't take into consideration the fact that the human existence is a living, breathing organism or system in and of itself. And so that things are consistently evolving, changing, moving. And so this idea that spirit can perfectly control how something unfolds, can bring it in a nice little neat box, um, is not always true, frequently not true. And so there's this understanding that, two of swords energy, which was between the empress and the devil. I was looking for the card. I was like, where'd it go? I know I had it. It's the choice between two truths. I really wanted to have a life that I loved, where I loved me and I lived life to its fullest, but I also wanted a deep soul level connection love. And sometimes those two things can cross paths and there's a decision to be made. And I always tell people when you have to choose between two truths, you choose the one that does not require you to forsake the self, or does not require you to forsake the self as much. Let's put it that way. So I feel like I need to pull a different deck. This just basically says that whoever it has a King of Wands, Five of Wands, which there's like internal turmoil, chaos, conflicting desires and wants, and kind of like feeling pulled in multiple directions. That's the King of Wands. King of Wands is generally one who focuses, who narrows things down and follows through, right? This King of Wands is going to have to take care of that Five of Wands energy, move through it, Six of Swords, like you have, to get to the other side in order to have success, Chariot, and to move forward on this. Like they're gonna have to come towards you and come towards you fast, is what it feels like. Anything else you want me to I feel like we're processing more than giving a message. There's a moving through all of this and kind of like processing what happened, where we're at, what's all the components. Like spirit needs to reflect back to you. You're like, talk to me, spirit, talk to me. And that's what they're doing. They're talking to you about this. You are being guided. Star card, you are being guided. And the star card is about healing. The one thing they will not, at least, let's just new era element. And then we're gonna wrap it up because this is really long. I just got a feeling. This is out of fucking nowhere. I just got a feeling like I don't know how to explain this. If you felt like somebody wasn't moving towards you or something wasn't moving forward because I'm getting a feeling of a feminine having like an internal energy of they wouldn't want someone like me. They or they don't. Like if you think that's the reason somebody's not moving towards you, it's giving opposites. Okay, thank you. It's like somebody sees somebody like is viewing somebody as an emperor when they themselves feel like they're just the Queen of Pentacles. Remember, the Queen of Pentacles is the idea because it's a feminine energy, is the container of potentiality that has not yet become reality. The King of Pentacles, because you move into them, it makes it a part of the material world. Your reality goes from inside to outside, right? Because the Queen of Pentacles is like that creation type of energy. Um, Someone sees themselves as potential but not being there yet, and is I don't know if somebody wonders, like, I get something about looks. I don't know why. Like somebody's looking at somebody else's looks like they don't know I'm really actually an empress, but right now I'm just a bag of potential. Where this is fucking coming from. And it's like if you can't take me at my, and when I say potential, it's like maybe because the Queen of Pentacles, we talked about starting over and like everything is stripped from you. And so it may look like there's not been much, but like this is really your second trip around the Fool's Journey, right? And so, you know, it's going to look like you're starting over. And maybe that's what it is. You're like, like you feel like somebody underestimates you, maybe because you have the appearance of, but it's like, I've been there too. I feel like saying, like, I've been there too. So this isn't like a gold digger kind of, like the song Gold Digger where they're like, like, won't get with a broke something something, because he's doing dishes one day, but he's gonna be a whatever the next kind of thing. And it's like I feel like somebody wants to be wanted and pursued in the Queen of Pentacles while they're still the potential versus the Empress, because it's like I know I can go toe to toe with you. I know that I can like when I'm at my peak, I'm a bag of chips and all that. You know what I mean? Like I know people would want me. Maybe somebody feels like somebody's not coming towards you now because you think you're being underestimated, undervalued. That might be a part of the timing. Also, like again, I know my worth. 7 of Wands. Absolutely not. But can I also say there might be a little resistance to that too? Like somebody, because this is what I was picking up on. Like it's not just like somebody feels as if the other person is the appearance. When I fucking look at the damn star on the bottom of this deck, I shit you the fuck not. With a 2 of Swords. Come on. Um. All right. Of course, this would come out at the end, right? Of course. Right? I said that in the beginning. I was like, of course, spirit, sure. Why not? Like, that's the energy. Like, it is always something. Sure. Life's already fucked me in the ass. Why not you too, spirit? Let's just go. Pile it on. There's more to do. Like, okay, whatever. Um, I think it's more of saying, I don't know, Queen of Pentacles is a badass. Uh, but I feel like saying fuck anybody that can't tell that. I don't know if the Queen of Pentacles is looking at the Emperor like that. Like, you will, like they're moving slow because of that. And are they really an emperor if they can't see beyond that? I'm just saying. Because again, between the Queen of Pentacles and the Emperor is the Seven of Swords. You need to make sure you're seeing something clearly. The way in which you like make sure you're making decisions from the right lens, the right paradigm. Don't, the idea is not to go back on anything that you've gained from the Six of Swords. I'm oddly interested in knowing whether or not the Emperor actually, it's reminding me of? It's reminding me of when people go, "Oh, I was never ugly, I was just poor." Mm, we're getting to some tea. See, you let me go long enough, and I have like 5 readings in fucking 1. This is the reason why I don't. Oh, I don't. I quit doing lives for a while because I'm like, bitch, I can go on, and I will dig in. Lord of mercy. Uh, This is like somebody who, okay, I just can't, they won't let me let go. Like this has me on a chokehold, okay, really quick. And it's like they want me to say this before we end anything because everything is correct, everything up to this point. And somebody is like, you know what? I'm not doing this by myself anymore. But they're like, also, if motherfucker comes in, this little nugget, this beautiful little nugget you're holding on to, pretending like it ain't there, guess what? Guess what? That little nugget's gonna get highlighted. You over here like, I'm choosing me, blah 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 blah, which it you as should, because there's some okay if motherfucker can't figure shit out and come in, but why do I feel like? Why do I feel like if motherfucker come in, you might be triggered. They don't want me to say triggered, you because you've managed your emotions, but it's a nugget that would be there. Ooh, moon card, something subconsciously there though. There's something subconsciously there. Well, you sit with cards long enough, they tell you a different story. Um, okay. So you over here being like, you either hurry the like, come on, motherfucker, let's go. And they're like, are you sure? Like, remember I said, be careful what you wish for. Greg, what? Okay. Sorry, am I being too loud? Am I being turn your headphones down? I get loud. Okay. Be careful what you wish for. Oh, this is taking a juicy turn. Again, when it comes down to a crossroads like this, where spirit has learned one too many times that humans are like last second change, they can predict all they want. This truly is one of those moments where it is up to the individuals involved. Like spirit will do everything they can, but in the end, much like healing, they can't make the choice for you, right? And motherfuckers be doing shit last minute all the time, proving spirit wrong. Like I could have sworn this bitch this time would have done it. I could have sworn. Okay, they don't get to be like boop boop and like change something in your fucking brain. You got to do that on your own, right? They can't. Like That's the one place where I will be like, free will really does exist. Because they be fucking with shit all the time, interfering all the time, but they can't when again you have to choose your destiny. Okay, you have to choose into your destiny. So devil's advocate here. Okay, if motherfucker does show up, how you gonna handle it with this little nugget sitting here like because if you really believe he's not coming in, because somehow he thinks like you're in a position It's not in alignment with him because it's something visibly he's seeing in your life, right? These are tangibilities, right? You're the Queen of Pentacles. Internally, you absolutely everything. You are every fucking thing, okay? Look at me. I'm just be whatever. You are everything. This motherfucker, like, you got it all. You got it all. Um, but as that's internally, right? Queen of Pentacles, King of Pentacles is when it's all manifested externally to you. So here you are, starting over, a clean slate. And somehow you are convinced this motherfucker, for one reason or another, is probably a bit slower because he's focusing somehow on he can't see beyond the physical presentation of things in your life or with you. And it's like, you know you're the fucking empress. I just want to be like, if I had met you 2 years ago, you wouldn't be looking at me like that. Like, I don't know why I feel like that. Like, again, remember, we're having to clean up what happened as a result of the shit show that we went through. Because it had ramifications and you might still be in the process of that. It's either reflected in your body, your health, your material world somehow, and you think that they are avoiding you because of that. Now, let me ask you that. You believe it, bitch shows up. What you gonna do now? What you gonna do now? Is that little nugget still gonna be there? Are you going to dress it up differently now with the way that you behave? Like, are you gonna be like, "Oh, I'm not ready. Oh my god. Like, why did you do this now? Why'd you bring it in? I wasn't ready." Like, you know what I mean? Like, how are you gonna behave? How are you gonna address that? How are you gonna feel? How are you gonna respond? Oh. You thought you was gonna get off scot-free from, you know what I mean? They were like, "Roo roo rah rah, you're doing amazing," without them being like, "But there's this." You they are not gonna spare your feelings. I swear. The idea, like, you just wanted to be told you were right, and you are in so many respects. They went through and they reflected everything back, and they're like, "Bitch, you are totally correct." But what? Because, like, they can't predict, and they're like, "Okay, you put the energy out that a motherfucker needs to show up. What you gonna do when he does? What you gonna do?" Or if he does. I don't know where "when he does" came from, but okay. So, okay, I was feeling that totally came from just they were I could feel it. I could feel this. I don't know. Somebody feels a certain way about somebody. Mm. Because sometimes we already want to be in the Empress, like, oh my God. Would you let him love? Oh, fuck me. Would you let this person love a clean slate? Meaning, again, you have it all within you. It's just not reflected outside of you. Are you going to let this motherfucker be present to witness and watch the evolution of you moving from the Queen of Pentacles to the Empress? Talk about vulnerability. He's over here trying to take his time because he knows that he needs that. And you're over here like, I'm not saying anything because you are keenly well aware. If I stay in this stagnant energy too long, it will deteriorate me. So fucking valid. Um, but as with the Seven of Swords, there's something up here. You're perceiving something a little bit, and it's like, what if that gets flipped on the head? You again, the brain loves to like fill in the blanks, right? And Is this a projection? Are you filling in the blank with a projection of, well, they must not be because of this? Emperor Emperor tends to get he's already out of an emperor would not be in what I would consider emperors tend to garner attention. Okay. All right. Well, remember, healing is learning how to live. Why does this feel like I'm trying to put it into words? Try not to sound like a bitch. Um, I don't want the emperor to get credit for my transition from the Queen of Pentacles into the Empress. I'm sorry, fucking what? What? Where did that come from? Like, why do you think he's what? So he acknowledges and sees the potential of you. Who you're the Queen of Pentacles. You are yet to be the star, right? Like, um, he values that. He comes in, he adores that, he loves that. And now we're concerned with how other people are going to perceive something. Because why would because that is that because surely that's the only reason you're like, I don't want him to get credit. Like, I want to be an empress without then begs the question on, is that really the driving force? I want to say no, but now I can't help but go, is that the driving force for why you suddenly are like, I'm choosing life? Like, I'm going to go have an adventure. Like, do you think that going off by yourself, you'll be able to prove to yourself that you can get from the Queen of Pentacles to the Empress? Because I swear it sounds like a projection. Just not to start shit. I'm not trying to start shit. I'm just saying because whose external opinion are we fucking caring about? And and if he can see who you really are and your potential and knows, because remember the last reading, as soon as he acts, he knows exactly how this is gonna go. Like that motherfucker is gonna be like, he's down, he's in it, he's like it's gonna go like it's as soon as he connects, he just you know what I mean, he knows. So we're assuming this motherfucker is gonna look at you like you wouldn't it's that you wouldn't have anything if it wasn't for me. So you need to prove it to who that you can get to the Empress on your own. It's either other people or yourself. I'm not trying to start shit. I'm just saying. There's a whole lot of channel coming through right now. Because I'm feeling this Queen of Pentacles right now. I don't want anybody else to have the credit for We're about to post some. We gotta fucking. Oh. Oh. Well. The fool. You should just know that when you put this energetic ultimatum out and you are like, I'm choosing for me, it is felt by the emperor. That creates a sense of urgency amongst the emperor. It like like I need to do this now. And so again, spirit is not proclaiming anything 100%, just so you fucking know, okay? Just so you know, because they have a plan, like just you alone, whoever I'm reading for, they're like, bitch, there were 20 times I thought you would and you didn't. I'm like, you gotta be fucking, I know you lying. She was like right there and just said, no, right there. The water was right there. And then she had the audacity to say, I'm thirsty. Led horse to water, can't make horse drink, said water, right? So if that happens with you, imagine the times where spirit is like, I have done so much. There's no fucking way. Like, I've tortured this bitch with her own mentality, and there's no way she's gonna say no. No way. No way humanity is gonna do this. No way. And then they get fucking surprised. They're unsurprised when they get surprised. So they preface it all the time. Again, there's a lot of things that they can, but by way of like manipulating certain energies and circumstances, they can really try to guide you. We won't say force, guide you, but in the face of this fate, I mean, and you still half cock go off some other direction. It's like, or my favorite scenario is spirits telling you to choose red, and you're like, I don't like red. I don't want red. Don't fucking make me take red. And they're like, so they remove every other color. And your bitch ass goes, I'm just not going to choose anything then. Okay. Do we understand? Do we have an understanding here? So when they tell you, they're just giving you scenarios and they're giving you possibilities and probabilities. Again, this is one of those crossroads that people have to choose. They can predict when you're going down a particular path and you're so far along it that something's inevitable no matter what because of all the choices that have been made, like they, you know what I mean, like it's already in we can't stop. That's when they can predict. This is a legitimate crossroads that they don't get to choose for you. You have to choose again because these types of crossroads are a part of your destiny unfolding, and it's like you have to choose your destiny. It does not choose you. So this notion like it's gonna happen no matter what, no the fuck it won't, bitch. No the fuck it won't. Quit listening to readers that say that dumb shit. Okay? Just helping you out. So they're like, so you start this thing and you're like, I'm going to live. And they're all for that because that's exactly where you should be. However, just so you know, when you do something like that, there's still the potential that a motherfucker might come in because guess what you did? You sent out some energy. Bitch picked up on it and he's like, hey, guess I should do something. And here you are, I don't know, unsuspecting, thinking it like, I don't know. You're like, I'm open to it, but I'm moving in it. And you got this little nugget sitting on your shoulder. It's a little chip. And they're like, so when he chooses to take the leap of faith, when he chooses to initiate some shit with you, like chooses, it's a go, it's a green light. He comes in, he's like, you're, what do you think's gonna happen with that ship? Oh, honey, that's gonna get felt. Because guess what? When he comes in, a light is gonna be shown on that little nugget deep within your subconscious who believes that this motherfucker didn't want to come in because I'm not exactly there when really that was just a projection. And so when a motherfucker takes a leap of faith towards you, you think light is not gonna get shown on that? That you're not gonna have to face that? That you're not gonna have to deal with that when he comes? Because you were so certain. And now the sun card, a light is shown on the moon. Something that you can right now pretend doesn't exist, that you can bury, that you can hide in the shadows. But you won't be able to do that if he comes in. Star card, be careful what you wish for, right? Okay. Your proverbial deadline. Motherfucker shows up. Now what? Now guess what you're gonna have to deal with? And you've got the ability because you've healed. And we now know and understand that healing is simply learning how to live. Because what you do in healing is the same process that you're supposed to do in your day to day, every fucking life when all kinds of things get shown to you. You see what I'm saying? And it's like, okay, well, you didn't, your fear of him getting credit or witnessing you move from Queen of Pentacles into the Empress is going to become a reality. Ace of Pentacles. Just so you're aware, the only alternative to not having this happen is if you just say, fuck this motherfucker, and you go off on this other Two of Pentacles, this other path where you're like, oh, he didn't come in. But you have given grace. And you're like, I am choosing me, but I am open, but at a certain point I won't be. I know this. So here it is. Like I'm moving forward. And suddenly, tap, 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 on your shoulder from behind, motherfucker shows up and you're like, well, now you don't get to pretend like it doesn't exist. Now that nugget is visible. And now the thing you were afraid of, like, again, I think that you being afraid that he would get credit for you moving into the Empress because he's already an emperor, and again, it's either because you don't want, like, there's a deep seated something where you don't want someone else to get credit for that, or you're worried other people, which when it comes to this, who fucking gives a shit about other people? That's a whole thing in itself. Okay. So if you're worried about what other, they're going to think, oh, like, because again, like, you don't want anybody to think I only have this because of somebody, which tells me you must have at some point experienced that. Like there's something about you that wants to really achieve this empress status without a motherfucker. Um, did you understand the ricochet? Because they're like, by the way, that fear that you have that is nothing more than a projection. Well, now that's going to become a reality. If this, like, you now know that that is 100% going to be what it happens because of your choices in this scenario. Because you're not yet at the empress level. And you do still hold this little nugget of whatever it is within you. So when he does show up, because he's going to show up now with you as the Queen of Pentacles, as is, that level of vulnerability of he's 100% sure going to get to watch you move. Like he's going to be present and watching as you morph into the Empress. That's a very vulnerable state. I'm just going to say there's a lot of vulnerability in that. There's a lot of authenticity and sharing and transparency and visibility in that fucking process. But also now he gets to witness and watch you work through, moon card, this hidden little nugget within you, this deep seated something that's going to surface because it fucking will. Like, could you imagine? It's already a vulnerable place enough to move from the Queen of Pentacles into the Empress, where somebody's witnessing that, right? Where you are just potential into the reality. That is a process in of itself. That's a very vulnerable state. But now we're just going to add on top of that a little nugget you haven't worked through is going to come and they get to witness it right out the fucking gate. Wow. Yay for you. Okay. Well, you prepared for this. I'm just saying. And again, maybe motherfucker doesn't show up, and you get to save grace. At some point that and you work your way to the Empress. Okay, okay, maybe. But what if? What if this? hmm What if? What if he comes in and and everything is visible? Are you gonna run? You wanted it now. Don't come to spirit going, why did you let him? Why do you have to? I'm not ready for this. Don't. Okay. It's amazing. Like spirits, like how many times we gotta be careful what you wish for. It just might happen. Seriously, God Almighty. Alrighty, well, they just said Miss Independent. Miss Independent, Hermit, Ten of Wands, Miss Independent. I just feel like the thing you feared, them seeing you not in your fullest glory, but bountiful and plentiful and full of potential. Like, well, now they're definitely going to see it. And not only that, you're going to be a living testament of how to move through something because you're going to live it right out in front of them. What do you mean? Like death and rebirth. Oh my God. Good job, David. Oh, okay. Two more. Hold on. I wasn't ready. I was not ready. Do. But reminder, David, if you feel like it's fluff, it's probably not for you. Just saying. That's the thing we have to remember, guys, is discernment of when something is or is not for us. Like I literally say at the beginning, don't Cinderella shit to make it fit. Okay. I am interested to know about this emperor. Two of Wands. Two of Wands is about taking action. Well, shit. Tell me a little bit about that one. Tell me about that one. Mm, okay, that does not give me a good description. The one I put back was the devil. And I was like, okay, that doesn't really give me a good description. The next one they give me is the fucking tower. Oh. I just get what's hidden comes to light. Like, it's the idea of what is not seen will be seen by this person because we've got two of wands with the queen of cups for sure taking action, making moves towards somebody. Then we have the page of wands with the universe card, kind of like opening up that door, opening up the floodgates, right? Page of wands, I'm feeling like a very flirtatious, um playful something, like it's like cracking the door. So when it was the devil, I was like, you know, I naturally it felt like, devil, like, oh, very sensual kind of thing. But when I put it back, I was like, that really doesn't tell me because ain't no way this fool gonna come in and be like, Daddy Mac something. I was like, okay, please explain. And the tower. So what they're talking about is when this person comes in and ignites your fire or shows a passionate interest in you, are you going to believe them? Remember, the devil card was the idea of you have the choice of either becoming the empress or staying stuck. So it's like you don't get to avoid this decision. And no matter how it unfolds, whether it's I have to choose me and move on and go this direction because something's leaving me in hermit mode for too long and I know how that's going to pan out and what it does to me. Got it. Okay. Or if the motherfucker comes in, guess who's still going to have to choose? This is the crux of it's not okay. This choice in leveling up into the Empress, no matter what that requires of you, how vulnerable you got to be, what is witnessed, all that shit, or the choice of staying put in the because it is a tower moment. It's a fated moment. It's a judgment call. It's going to definitely bring something forward. It's like sometimes choosing your destiny can feel like a tower moment. Which we talked about this, like, there's a something that seems innocuous, something that seems like it couldn't possibly have that large of an impact on your life for the rest of your life, um, absolutely can. In fact, those are usually the moments that do, right? Anything that we've ever like, and so it's the idea that the page, like, when they show interest, the Page of Wands is them coming forward and showing their interest to you, flirting with you, connecting with you. Sh You know what I mean? Like, and the tower moment is the moment that you choose. Will you allow them why does this feel like they were never go you it has the energy of you were never going to escape being witnessed, seen in your process of moving from the clean slate Queen of Pentacles, full of potential energy into the Empress. It was always going to be witnessed. That if you chose Like, there's a sense of that being a part of choosing your destiny. Let's put it this way. We have the Two of Pentacles. There is going your own way and choosing life and things like that. The path that includes the Emperor, no matter how you go about it, would always include them witnessing you from the Queen of Pentacles going into the Empress, from them being a part of that process, seeing that unfold, watching that develop, being immersed in that. Um, I get a sense of pride and power with that, them feeling just immense pride at watching that unfold. It helps. It definitely gives them. There's a level of connection there with that. That is the type of vulnerability that they have desired and wanted. So in this process, I won't say that, maybe if you did go your own way, if you're I'm stagnant for too long, I need to move a certain way. Um, for me, because I know what happens when I don't, and it's not good for me. And I've gotten through the Six of Swords and I'm a Seven of Swords. This shit, I've got to do what helps me to maintain that, and doesn't allow me to stay stuck like the devil. If you choose to go your own way, then obviously you may or may not be witnessed on that path. We don't know. We haven't explored that path. We haven't looked at you being like, I'm choosing life no matter what. But if and the Ace of Pentacles is the one that came out with. Where'd you go? Where'd it go? Where'd you go, motherfucker? I swear to God. Oh, here it is. Ace of Pentacles. If it starts with them, that particular path, there is no going that path without being witnessed with that. That was always a part of that path. No wonder I felt like, oh, like even if they came in now, it's like, little do you know, there's something still yet for you to move through and experience and grow from, despite us saying you're finally on the other side. That's probably why they highlighted so much with the art of life of like healing is learning how to live. That is the process of living. Because they were like, don't misconstrue it. This isn't something where it's like you've got to heal. This is just the reality that we face in the human experience. And it doesn't have to feel traumatic. It doesn't have to be, you know what I mean? It can be a beautiful thing. But just like I tell other people, like healing doesn't make you impervious to uncomfortable or painful shit happening, right? There's something that connects the two of you in a way that is just who gives a shit if other people understand it or not. When this emperor gets to watch you step into and what all that entails, being the empress, where everything that you are begins to be reflected external to you. You bring life to it external to you. So you didn't think that you was gonna it wasn't all hoorah rah, you're doing the right thing. It was like, by the way, FYI, just so you know. Not sure if you understood the boulder that you start sending down the hill, but it's now gaining momentum. And if that's the path that, like, if that happens, careful what you wish for. You just might get it. Well, all right. Okie fucking dokie. Okay. Well, I really don't know what the hell to say to that. They're gonna see you as the Queen of Pentacles. Like, they absolutely, and you're just so worried that they, it's funny because you think that they see you as the Queen of Pentacles, and that's why they're not moving forward. Oh, but you're like spinning it negatively. Like somehow they think they're better. I don't know. Like I don't know what's in your projection. But they do, and they will. Again, you thought, oh, they think they're better than me. Da-da-da. And then when they're like, no, I don't. I think you're amazing. You're like, oh shit, that was a projection. I really don't feel comfortable. It's, oh my god, you're seeing me. Like it's like that. It's like, you know what I mean? Wow. Fuck. I can't save you from that. Like I'm trying. I'm like, let me think on something to give it, and I'm like, nope, you're gonna be uncomfortable. You're gonna be, and I don't know. Part of me is like, could they have worked through this little nugget before this? Like, could they have used the extra time this motherfucker was taking so they could recalibrate to work through this nugget before he showed up? Because I'm getting there was no way for you to fully step into the Empress, but could you have at least got rid of this little thing that's buried deep, moon card in your subconscious? Like, could you have done a little something so it wouldn't be so weird? Because again, not only is he gonna watch, and I say he because it's Emperor, this person's gonna fucking watch you blossom and bloom and be like this front row seat witness, immersed in it, in awe. Again, this is the Knight of Pentacles energy showing up in integrity, words, actions, energy. Like they get to see everything. It is true vulnerability is like, ugh. But now, as an added cherry on top, they get to watch you because you were like, now work through this nugget on top of the vulnerability. And it does not feel like it's a test to the connection. It's just gonna feel like a test to you, bitch. I feel like I want to cry. I feel like I want to cry. I want to cry. Oh my god. Holy shit. Uh, it was a lot, dude. Let me just tell you. Well, in the beginning, it was not all fluff. A lot of self improvement and coming out of the. Oh, we're talking about the reading. Well, none of this is a fluff either. I would not consider this fluff. So, like, the person of my dreams not only gets to come in and see me so raw, so bare, so underdeveloped externally at my most vulnerable, but now they get to watch me lose my shit because it brings something up from the depths of where the fuck this thing is hiding, and and just double down, spirit. We're just doubling down on me being vulnerable. Thanks. There's no acclamation period. None of that shit. Okay, appreciate it. Are you fucking shitting me? It's like I went on a retreat one time, guys, and it's natural for people to get triggered and work through things. Why was I the first one? Of course I would be, right? Remember the very beginning, I was like, of course, spirit, sure. That's where that energy came from, remember? Of course, like, because I was talking, I was like, "It feels like life has fucked you up the ass while running." And but now you're at a point where you're like, sure, like you don't respond emotionally anymore because you know how to move right through it. But when something new shows up, you're like, of course it would. That's what this is. Spirit's like, that's how they started, that's how they're ending. Of course it would. Sure. Of course it would. That might actually be the title. Of course it would, Spirit. Of course. Fuck. Okay. We will leave it there then. Sure. Maze balls. Hope that the message finds whoever it's meant for. Um, I need to get to. Remember, okay. Remember, I said that whole rant in the beginning that was about 15 minutes long was gonna. I was like, watch it lead into this reading. Remember how I said I was complaining, right? I was, oh my god, it makes so much sense. No wonder they send me on rants. I was complaining about the way I look in my passport picture because it looks nothing like me. I look like a raccoon. I was complaining about YouTube because when I pre-record something, I look normal. And I don't know what's happened with YouTube's lighting and bullshit. Like you can't change the contrast and shit when you go live. And like my settings for my camera doesn't impact when I go live on YouTube. So nothing I do there. So I was like, I actually don't look like death. And I talked about how like I look like I don't really look. And then we go from the Queen of Pentacles is knows she's an empress and she's like, you've never seen me as the empress, but I had to, start over, clean slate. So I'm building my way back to empress again. And it's like, see, I told y'all. I'm like, I gotta do something. I gotta do something about the raccoon circles around my eyeballs. Um, and how embarrassing that passport photo is because I'm like, that's not me. So somebody, Queen of Pentacles, you don't feel like you look or like you're like, my life doesn't look like what I really am. I've been in the Empress energy before and oh yeah. Oh. Oh, I feel for oh God. Do you know how bad I hate like that's why I was like, I want to show you all, but it is fucking like that passport photo. Look like I took shoe shine and went, meow. It's like the way this feels so God, I feel bad for this Queen of Pentacles. Because when I put my own personal experience of like, I don't want people to see me like that, like that's not what I really look like, or that's not really, that whole thing, like why you gotta do me like that? Why you gotta do me like that, spirit? Why you gotta do me like that? Why you gotta do me like that? What? That's some shit. Because like it's like okay, the energy feels like all when you have like a million photos, you look fire in some of them, and some of them you're like, what in the actual fuck? What in the actual fuck? It is like the universe going, let's show them what in the actual fuck photos, and it's like you don't even know what I look like in all my good ones. They're over here in this album. You know what I mean? Like, like the vulnerability of someone not seeing you at your absolute best. I get mortified when people see my passport photo. Again, my driver's license photo looks good. I'll show you that one. Um, my passport looks like death. And it is embarrassing. Wow. And I think that's how the Queen of Pentacles feels. Like this feels so fucking vulnerable. Are you serious? And the funny thing is, the Queen of Pentacles thinks that might be a contributing factor to why the Emperor is taking so long because he's seeing her in her Queen of Pentacles. And it's like her worst nightmare becoming real. because it's like, surprise! He does. He does see you in your Queen of Pentacles. But that wasn't the reason he wasn't coming forward. And you didn't really think that that wasn't the reason he was coming forward. You were afraid that was the reason he wasn't coming forward because it's called a projection. And you got a little nugget in there, a little nugget. And something also tells me you look for evidence to prove what you're saying. I'm gonna stop because I am reading a bitch to filth. And I feel like spirit's already been like, look, has laid a few eggs, a few, okay. And she gonna have to come to terms with this shit because apparently it is very much so a viable option still. Like this, you're still in the Two of Pentacles, right? She's still giving grace. Can you imagine? She gonna flip the. We're gonna put good energy in Juju for the Queen of Pentacles, okay? If she don't flip the. Oh my God, I don't think she's gonna be able to though. Like it's not like she again. Again, we talked about the emotions, guys. You've already mastered that. You don't let it over consume you, so she won't make decisions from that. She's just. I feel like instantaneous tears. You know, like when you're a little kid and somebody gets onto you and you can't pretend. You can't put up a mask. You can't, you know what I mean? Like just the real rawness of everything happens and the tears fall and it's like that level of vulnerability. She won't hide, she won't run, but she also won't be able to not be seen. You've been here before. You didn't go through what you went through to not be able to handle this. Remember what you said with the Seven of Swords, where you were like, I will not go back? Spirit loves you. You love you. Emperor loves you. And if it gets to the point where the Emperor still doesn't step forward and you know you have to move forward, just know that even if you go the other direction and it's the other pentacle where they are not a part of this path, that nugget will still need to be addressed in order for you to become fully step into your Empress, okay? Don't forget. Right, I am going to wrap it up. I hope everybody has a wonderful day. Um, yeah. I will see you at the next reading. So, have a great day, guys.